When we first saw Ginevra Molly Weasley clutching her mum's hand at platform 9 3/4, she was just Ron's wide-eyed little sister peeking out from behind the family's trolleys. Fast forward 7 years, and she's a fierce duelist, a champion flyer, and someone you really don't want to challenge to a duel, unless you enjoy hexes in hard-to-reach places. Ginny's character arc is one of the most rewarding in the Harry Potter series. She starts off small and silent but grows into one of the most confident and capable witches of her generation. A childhood full of brothers and bludgers. Growing up in the Burrow as the youngest of 7 siblings, 6 of whom were loud, competitive, prank-happy boys, means Ginny developed a tough shell early. She wasn't just the baby. She was the only girl in a family where hand-me-down robes, second-hand spellbooks, and explosive practical jokes were part of the daily grind. She learned to stand her ground at the dinner table, throw a mean gnome out of the garden, and keep up in backyard Quidditch games when no one played gently. While her brothers might have tried to protect her, Ginny never needed rescuing. In fact, more often than not, she was the one launching surprise broomstick attacks and landing zingers that even Fred and George had to applaud. That one time she was possessed by Voldemort. It's easy to forget just how dark Ginny's first year at Hogwarts really was. She unknowingly got caught up in a plot involving a cursed diary, a basilisk, and, the soul of Lord Voldemort. Casual stuff. Tom Riddle's manipulation of Ginny in Chamber of Secrets is haunting, but what's more impressive is how she recovered from it. Most kids would be in therapy until their mid-30s, but Ginny? She faced the trauma head-on, emerged stronger, and started forging her identity on her own terms. It's the classic hero's journey, only with more snake-slaying and fewer monologues. Ginny the Quidditch Queen. Ah yes, Quidditch. The one thing that unites the wizarding world, ruins homework schedules, and occasionally breaks a few bones. Ginny had been secretly practicing with her brother's brooms since she could toddle. When she finally got her chance to play for Gryffindor, she didn't just hold her own, she dominated. Whether she was filling in as seeker during Harry's detentions or scoring goals as a chaser, Ginny was a natural. Fast, fearless, and precise, she flew like a born star. Her talent was so undeniable that she joined the Holyhead Harpies, one of the most prestigious all-witch teams in the league. Let's be real. If wizarding sports had trading cards, Ginny's would be in high demand and probably come with a bonus Bat-Bogey Hex sticker. The many admirers of Miss Weasley. Ginny Weasley didn't just grow into her power, she practically glowed with it by the time she hit her mid-teens. While early Ginny was a bundle of blushes and stammers around Harry Potter, she quickly grew out of that phase and began blazing her own path. And let's be honest, collecting admirers like chocolate frog cards. She dated Michael Corner after meeting him at the Yule Ball, then dumped him when he sulked over Gryffindor winning the Quidditch Cup. Clearly the man couldn't handle a woman who scores goals and victories. Then came Dean Thomas, who didn't quite pass the compatibility test either, partly because of his slightly patronising streak, and partly because Ginny just wasn't into being someone's side character. Meanwhile, Harry was stuck in the I can face a dragon but not my feelings stage. His crush on Ginny simmered under the surface until it finally boiled over in Half-Blood Prince, when he kissed her in the Gryffindor common room after a Quidditch victory. In front of literally everyone. Iconic. But just as things were heating up, the chosen one had to go and do the noble thing. Before setting out to destroy Voldemort's Horcruxes, Harry broke up with Ginny. He told her it was to protect her, because Voldemort would surely use her against him. Ginny, however, wasn't exactly the type to cry over noble sacrifices. She understood, sure. But she didn't accept being treated like someone who needed shielding. In true Ginny fashion, she didn't wallow. Instead, she kept fighting, staying at Hogwarts and becoming one of the fiercest leaders of Dumbledore's army. She continued to resist Voldemort's regime, while Harry, Ron, and Hermione were off camping in the woods and nearly getting eaten by snakes. The breakup might have been necessary, but it was also bittersweet, filled with longing, tension, and quiet heroism on both sides. Their love wasn't about clingy declarations or dramatic ultimatums. It was about mutual respect and shared purpose. And when the war was finally over and the dust settled, Ginny and Harry found their way back to each other, stronger, wiser, and ready for a life built on more than just battles. So yes, Ginny dated around, she kissed a few frogs, but in the end, she chose the man who saw her for everything she was. Not just Ron's sister, or the girl from the burrow, but a warrior, a leader, and his equal. Dumbledore's army and the girl who fought back. Ginny wasn't content to sit on the sidelines while Death Eaters roamed the halls of Hogwarts. In Order of the Phoenix, she became a founding member of Dumbledore's army, mastering defensive spells like a pro and even coming up with the clever name for the group. By Deathly Hallows, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione were off on their Horcrux hunt, Ginny stayed behind and led the resistance with Neville and Luna. She defied Snape, pulled off covert missions, tried to steal the Sword of Gryffindor, and inspired younger students to stand up and fight. She didn't just survive the darkness, she challenged it. Life after Hogwarts, journalist and mother. Post-Battle of Hogwarts, Ginny's story didn't end, it evolved. After a glorious career with the Holyhead Harpies, she hung up her professional broomstick and began writing as the Quidditch correspondent for the Daily Prophet. She continued to advocate for fairness in magical sports and likely reminded the wizarding world that women can be both warriors and wordsmiths. Ginny and Harry married and had 3 children, James Sirius, Albus Severus, and Lily Luna. And while she embraced family life, you can bet she never lost her edge. One imagines her still training young witches in dueling techniques and challenging visiting auras to friendly duels that accidentally result in singed eyebrows. Ginny Weasley is proof that you don't have to shout to be powerful. That strength can come from pain, humor can mask resilience, and a girl with 6 brothers and a second-hand wand can grow into one of the greatest witches of her time. Whether she's slamming a quaffle through the hoops or slinging hexes at Death Eaters, Ginny represents courage, confidence, and unshakable spirit. She's not a side character, she's a force of nature. So here's to Ginny, the girl who started shyly, fought fiercely, and finished proudly.